Good morning, everybody. It is day 27 out of 30 building and launching an AI app using Lovable in public. And I'm realizing as we're running out of time that I've set myself quite a task. We are not quite ready for launch. We're probably going to be okay to launch for beta testers in this week's newsletter. So if you want to be a beta tester, if you want to get access to this and play around for free, then make sure you're a part of the newsletter, subscribed. It's a totally free newsletter, and every single Saturday I put out a long form guide, as well as this week a beta tester key code, so you can come and jump in. So what we are building is a tool that allows us to generate lead magnets from video content. So we can, from YouTube, TikTok and Instagram, generate lead magnets that could be placed below that content in order to get leads. Where are we? Yesterday we were tightening up the flow of creating lead magnets and just making it a bit easier for people to generate lead magnets and to be... No, I don't need a co-host. Goodness me. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh my god. Sorry, editor. I'm going to go again. I wish people wouldn't do that. Ignore all of that, editor. I'm sorry, Mark. Okay, let's try that again. I just managed to knock offline my TikTok live feed because I accepted a guest request from somebody by mistake and then did not know how to get rid of it, so quickly ended the TikTok live. I don't know why people ask to be guests. Anyway, where are we? We are on day 27 out of 30 building an AI application in public. We are using Lovable to vibe code it, and we are pretty much there. We have a few tweaks making sure that it's going to be a nice onboarding experience, and we'll be able to launch the application on Saturday. I'm going to be taking beta testers on Saturday, and then from there, refining the app in my own time. I won't necessarily be doing it live on stream. I have not decided yet. We'll work it out. I need to work out what I'm doing moving forward with my build in public stream, but we are pretty much there. So the application can turn content, video content, into leads by generating lead magnets based off of a video. So we can get videos from YouTube, any video from TikTok, any video from Instagram. We can pull in the transcript. We can get all of the information from that video, and we can turn that into a lead magnet. So here's what that looks like inside. So for example, this was a video by, I'm not sure, I can't tell from here, a 4,000 word transcript, which I pulled and was able to generate a workflow setup for AI video ad creation. And it creates a nice looking checklist like this. This checklist can then be built into a landing page, which looks like this. People can give their email addresses in order to get that checklist. So this allows content creators to put these kind of links below every single one of their YouTube videos, every single one of their Instagram videos, etc. And they're going to be specific and customized lead magnets for that particular piece of content. So that's what we're doing. So what we're going to do today is look at the other two lead magnets we've generated. So the checklist I'm kind of okay with, it's fine. The next one though is the quiz or the application. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and generate a lead magnet. Which one do we want? Hormozy. I don't want one that's too long just because it uses a lot of credits. It's not the end of the world, but if we can do a shorter one. So Steve Jobs. So we need one that kind of makes sense as a quiz, because not all lead magnets make sense depending on the content. So what we want is how to calmly end a rude. What would be a good one for a quiz? Best AI business ideas. Here we go. I tested 500. These 5 AI businesses will make you $1 million. Sure, whatever, that will do. So I'm going to grab that video. I'm going to bring it over to here, stick it into here, and generate lead magnets. And then I'm going to generate a quiz off the back of it. And what I want to do today is refine the prompt for that quiz generator, because I haven't done any work on that at all. Hey Tamas, how are you doing? It's really good. So going ahead, what this is doing right now is it pulling the transcript from YouTube, and now it's pulled it into my application. You can see it's 3,000 words, and then we can generate different types of lead magnets. So we can generate a checklist. I know that kind of works, that's fine. Or we can generate a quiz or an assessment. What it does is it creates a prompt which can then be used to create a quiz. No, I haven't got enough days. I was just trying to think if I could actually build it into a interactive quiz which they could deploy. But that's psychotic. No, we're not going to do that. So we're going to go ahead. This might not even work. I haven't tested this for a while, so it could be broken. So creating a lovable project prompt. Cool. So what this does, it creates a prompt which you then take over to your vibe coding tool of choice, and you can plug it in, and it will make a quiz for you, which you can then deploy yourself. So I've done it with Lovable, but technically it could be any other. But what we need to do is make this make sense for the customer, for the person who is going to be generating this. So I could potentially build a whole tool which builds quizzes for them and deploys quizzes for them. That's a much larger piece of work, and I only have a few more days here. So what this does is it takes this video. So this one is by Dan Martell, and it's called "These 5 AI Businesses Will Make You 1 Million." And it creates a project specification, which you can then take over to a vibe coding tool. So build a visually engaging quiz application titled "Is AI Appointment Setter Business Right for You?" using React, TypeScript. And so appointment setter must have been one of the things that Dan Martell talks about in the video. And then it gives the prompt that we're going to use to create the project. Start by creating a clean modern quiz interface, display the quiz at the top, etc, etc, etc. Display one question at a time. Do not include backend functionality yet. Now, do we want to change that? I might actually adjust this because, so the reason I included this in my initial prompt was because Lovable and Bolt had not yet released their cloud versions. Now the vibe coding tools allow you to have a backend, which is really useful. So I might actually allow the backend functionality to be put in. Okay, so that's going to be my first change. And then it creates a, are they still, no, they've got lovable.dev now. They used to be lovable.so. Go to Lovable website. So kind of what I want to do, let's see if I click on this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh wow, that worked. Sod it, we'll use some credits. No, we're not going to use credits on that. So I clicked that button and it immediately opened up Lovable and dumped the prompt into Lovable for me, as you can see. Very cool. So that does work. I'm going to stop that so I don't waste credits. So what we want to do, we want to change this so it does have backend functionality, because now Lovable can do that. And then the implementation instructions are actually going to change, because it's not lovable.so anymore, it's lovable.dev. So first is going to be create an account. Second is going to be clicking on this button, and then it will spin up the application for them. Cool. I also want, this is a bit cheeky, I want to add my Lovable referral code in there. A couple of reasons. It gives additional credits to the person who uses it, but it also gives me credits, so why not? So let's go ahead. Navigation. Hey Lovable, I now want to adjust the quiz assessment prompt. So we create quizzes and assessments using the second lead magnet type. I would like to adjust this. A couple of things. One, the Lovable project prompt. Now we can allow Lovable to create the backend. So remove the instruction, which is kind of hard coded in right now. Remove the instruction to do not include backend functionality yet, focus on fully interactive front end. Remove that and instead allow this prompt, rewrite this prompt to create a backend as well, because that now happens automatically in Lovable without additional complexity, please. And then you'll have to adjust the other steps like authorization and database based on that, please. So rewrite that, rewrite the prompt that writes the prompt. Thank you. And then second thing, for implementation instructions, number one, for go to Lovable website. First thing, they're now at lovable.dev, not lovable.so, so we'll change that URL. But can we also make this a more interactive element, a button, for example, for them to go and sign up? And I want to include my referral code in it, which I will provide to you at the end of this prompt. And then the second step should be opening the Lovable with prompt using, so the button you've already created, we're going to use that method to move the prompt directly into their Lovable without them having to copy paste, etc. So the first one is creating an account, and that's going to have the referral code. And the second one is going to be open Lovable with prompt, which will be the button that we've already created. So obviously if they've already got a code, they don't need to, sorry, if they've already got an account, they don't need to do the first step, so make that clear as well. They can skip to the second step. And then step 3 you can get rid of, and then the rest of the steps are fine by the looks of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and make those changes for now. Thank you. Okay, and then the second thing I'm going to do is grab my free credit link. Basically, well, that was a lot. I'm going to put my free credit link in. So that means when anyone uses this tool, generates a Lovable prompt, it's going to give them extra credits, which will allow them to get it done, because they'll have 15 credits on the free plan, not 5 credits, so that's good. But I also get, I think, I get 10 credits. I get 10 credits too, which is cool. That helps. Every little helps. Thoughts on building something using the Sora 2 API? Yes, I probably will. Next week though, I can't right now. So this building in public stream is going to change. At the moment I'm building one project across 30 days, which allows me to launch it and take it to revenue, hopefully. I'm going to start kind of doing more smaller experiments, maybe as well as this longer form project, or instead of it, where each day I'll do something new. So one day I'll build a Sora 2 application, for example, because it's more fun. I get to play around with more tools. And I think it's more interesting to watch too, because a lot of the stuff on this stream is now me kind of fixing errors and refining things, which is, I mean, let's be honest, it's not that exciting. So I'll update the quiz assessment prompt generated to include backend. Cool, updated the quiz assessment. The other thing I want to do is change this generate landing page to open in Lovable, which I forgot totally. Cool, thanks for that. I also want to change the call to action on the assessment and quiz page. Instead of generate landing page in the top right, we should change that to open in Lovable, or create in Lovable. Thank you. And use the URL that has the prompt preloaded into it using UTMs, which you've used at the bottom. Thank you. So again, all of that prompt does, all of this button does, will open up Lovable, but it takes all of this stuff and it builds it into the URL up here. So it automatically feeds into the Lovable chat box. So they don't even have to copy paste. It makes it very, very quick and very, very simple. And we do that using UTM on the back. Let's see if I can actually, I want to see what that looks like. No, if I click on that, it starts a new Lovable project. That's the annoying thing. Oh, actually, no, it won't. If I click on this, there we go. So there we go. It's got UTM prompt equals blah, 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 blah. And then this whole long thing here is the prompt. So it will automatically load it in, which is, it's just nice. It's nice and simple. Now, at the moment, the quiz itself is not actually generated here. The quiz will be generated in Lovable, so Claude will take control of the actual kind of quiz. So there's a question of, do I want to work out the quiz questions here and literally state them, or just kind of let Claude deal with that once it gets to Lovable? Because right now it says use 3 to 5 multiple choice questions based on the video content, such as, do you have experience talking to small businesses or selling B2B tool? No, I do want it to be here because this doesn't make any sense. Because when this prompt is taken over to Lovable and Claude reads this prompt, something like this, which is use 3 to 5 multiple choice questions based on the video content, doesn't make any sense because it doesn't have access to the video content. So we need to adjust that as well. Okay, one more fix that we need to make to the project prompt itself. It needs to be more detailed. So right now it says use 3 to 5 multiple choice questions based on the video content, but when we copy this prompt over into our vibe coding tool, it does not have access to that video content. So it won't be able to generate questions based on the video content. So we're going to have a less accurate and less useful prompt for generating the quiz. What I'd like to do is to flesh out this prompt so that it is self-contained and it contains everything needed to take over to Lovable. I don't want you to put the whole of the transcript in because sometimes that's going to be very long, but I want you to give enough context from the video and generate the questions themselves in this prompt so that the prompt is entirely self-contained and has no reference to any other material that the vibe coding tool does not have access to. Thank you. I have a question. I've created a platform that's working great. What's the next step for me? Do I need to have a senior developer look at it? Kind of depends. It depends on what you're doing. Are you selling it? Are you taking payment? If so, then yeah, you might want to have a developer have a look at it because you need to be really, really tight with security, especially with transactions. If you are not necessarily selling, or if it's an internal tool that's being used within your business, then there's going to be less need to have a senior developer. But it kind of depends on your end goals, honestly. I've just realized my video is not on TikTok. Sorry about that. I had some problem with somebody trying to join my live and I accidentally pressed the wrong button and invited him in and then had to restart the stream. I don't quite know what people are getting from it, or if they're bots. Like, why would you want to join a random stream? But hey, whatever. So I think I came online without turning on my second camera. Let's see if I can do that now. No, I don't think I can. Oh well. I keep having issues with Superbase and people registering via email. You mean it's not taking their emails or something else? Authorization, especially with Gmail, can be a complete pain. It's worth setting up though, because people like to log in with their Gmail accounts. But it requires getting an OAuth token and connecting to the Google API, etc., etc. What is best for mobile apps? Replete is very good for mobile apps. Oops. And I've heard Bolt is good too. The new version of Bolt. So this one. But I need to test them more myself, honestly. I would say Lovable is not great at apps or mobile apps. I mean, it's fine, but you'll need to convert out afterwards. So you need to go to GitHub and then bring it down into Xcode generally if you want to do an iOS app, which is just additional steps. It's not the end of the world, but it's more work, whereas some will build natively. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab that same one again. Look at this lady instead. Is that? Oh no, it's not. I thought I recognised her. Okay, so we'll drop in this content. Oh yes, it keeps rejecting people. I had to pause launching the app, so it's probably some kind of security setting in Supabase triggering and being too aggressive. If you get any error codes, so check the console, like try and find out why it's rejecting, and then I would literally go and ask ChatGPT or ask Claude. Say, hey, this is the problem. Emails are getting rejected from my Supabase. This is the setup I'm using. These are the error codes. What do you think is wrong? What are the three potential reasons, and then work through it like that. A lot of vibe coding is literally that. It is just getting error codes and then trying to work out what's going on, and then not listening to the AI when it says, yeah, I've got it. I know what the problem is, because often it doesn't. So I built something yesterday which was a certification tool, so allowing me to issue certificates with unique IDs and using the Open Badge 3 standard, etc. And it took me about 3 or 4 hours, and a lot of that was troubleshooting my Vercel deployment. And for about half an hour I was just trying to deploy, getting the error codes from the deployment, feeding them back, fixing bug, and just ground through it. And it felt like nothing was happening, but each time it was getting a bit closer. It was frustrating, but we got there. Right, here we go. Topic summary. This quiz, are you ready to launch your AI business, is based on the key insights from a video exploring 5 actionable AI business models. Cool. So we've got a bit more context here. So it's grabbed context from the video and fed it into the prompt itself. Quiz questions, and there we go. It has generated the actual questions. However, how does it know what the right questions are? What's correct? Which of the following AI business models are highlighted as... Nah, so this is not quite right. This is just creating a video which tests comprehension of the video. I don't think that's that useful. Also, this has not marked which questions are actually right. So the AI might know. It probably does know, but this is not great. And then it says scoring logic. So the scoring logic makes sense, but we don't know what the correct answers are based on these. And this is just wrong. What's the call to action for viewers at the end of the quiz? Sign up for a SaaS trial. So, like, that's why is it asking a question about the quiz in the quiz? That is absolute nonsense. And then technical specifications, fine, all right, but the rest of it is an absolute mess. So we're not going to do that. So let's adjust. It'd probably be easier if I was actually manually writing this prompt, to be honest. But that's not very fun for the stream. So okay, thank you for adding in the context. The topic summary is fine. However, the quiz questions are just testing comprehension, which is not very interesting. I don't want to test comprehension of the video. What I want to do is ideally extract the actionable points from the video transcript. Let me have a think here, because quizzes, this is the problem with quizzes in particular. Quizzes are only valid or useful for certain types of lead magnets, for certain types of content. For example, the video I did yesterday, I did as an example, was, I've lost it now, but it was Mr. Beast talking about making content for 10 years, for example. That doesn't really make sense to make a quiz from that, or an assessment. But my tool allows you to make a quiz or assessment. It's not going to judge you. It's not going to say, oh, this is a dumb one to make an assessment about. Whereas something like this, so what I'd ideally want for this, for 5 best AI businesses to start before 2026, is for it to analyze what those 5 businesses are and then help the user to work out which of those 5 is going to be the best for them. That would be the best lead magnet in this case. That is not always going to be the case though, because it depends on what the business is. So like this one, sorry, what the video is. So start an AI business in 2025, step by step. This one isn't about which business, it's about how to, what the steps. So the quiz we might generate here is, are you ready to start a business, for example. This one is 7 tools for small businesses. This would be working out which of these tools you should try first. See, as you see, they have different outcomes. So what we need to do is build that logic into the prompt, which generates the prompt. So it's kind of meta prompting at this point. So, okay, thank you for that. The topic summary is good. Thank you for bringing that context from the video into the prompt itself. However, the quiz questions are too comprehension based. I don't think that's going to lead to a useful quiz or assessment. Instead, what I want you to do is, from the transcript of whatever whatever content is uploaded, find out what the action is. So I'm going to give you a few examples, build this into your logic. Let's say it is 5 best businesses to start in 2025. Your quiz would be about which of the 5 is the best. Let's say it is how to start a business. Then your quiz would be about readiness and how ready the person is to start a business. So we need to adapt what the logic and the outcome of the quiz are depending on the content of the actual content the video itself is. And it should always be positive. It should always push the user towards action. And it should always give them like a definitive outcome. So it shouldn't just be testing comprehension. Second thing, it should never refer to the quiz itself. So for example, in the prompt that I've just generated, it says, what is the call to actions for viewers at the end of the quiz? That makes no sense. The quiz itself should not refer to the quiz. That's too meta. And then for the scoring logic and results category needs to also be self-contained within the prompt. The example that you've given me has given me scoring logic and result categories, but it hasn't actually assigned any scores to the questions that you asked as well. So what I want to do is, before we do anything, we're going to discuss this and we're going to work out how we can make this adapt to best suit varied types of content and be able to roll with the punches. Thank you. Oh, and I'm going to put it in chat mode because this is a question. Like, how do we work this out? Because I don't know the answer to this. It might be a limitation in the ability to generate quizzes, because the quiz and the assessment is going to entirely depend on what the content is. And for some content, quizzes and assessments kind of don't make sense. And we can't just slap a personality quiz framework onto any content. So current problem is comprehension based. Testing what users learn from the video isn't engaging or actionable. Meta references, questions about the quiz, break immersion. Yep, okay, so better approach. Let me think about, oh, where's it gone? Let me think about different content types and what the quiz should actually do. So I've given it a couple of examples. This is, I mean, it's a form of multi-shot prompting. So instead of just saying make a quiz, I'm saying make a quiz. Here are some examples of what that might look like based on inputs. This is what the quiz would look like. Okay, these are actually fine. So it's generated a few more, like master Instagram reels, quiz purpose, identify their content creation style and level, questions about current approach, comfort video, audience understanding, outcome your real strategy should focus on, blah, blah, blah. Productivity hacks would be quiz purpose to diagnose their productivity challenges. So these are fine, but they'll always need to link back to the content itself, ideally. So the AI should first analyze the transcript to determine content category, tutorial, listicle, how-to, strategy, review, etc. Core action, what is the viewer supposed to do or decide? Cool. All right, this is much better. based on content type, generate. Okay, so basically I need to build all of this into this master prompt. Sorry, my prompt, and then it will spit out a prompt for my user to take over to the vibe coding tool. It gets very meta when we're talking about, because I am prompting my tool to give it a prompt, which then generates another prompt. It gets messy. This is all fine. Okay, this is all fine. This needs to be built into the prompt that we send to ChatGPT using the API to generate our lovable prompt that we output. So you need to build this complexity in, please. Could you go ahead and do that, and then also output to me in chat what that prompt is so I can review it? Thank you. Because we do need to, if I was being a lot more strict here, I would write this myself. I would hone it. I'd make sure that it's as concise as possible, because remember, we spend money every time we're sending information back and forward. For the emphasis of speed, and because we're doing it live, I'm just allowing the AI to write the prompt for me. I'm not too worried, but I am saying, hey, can you send it back to me so I can quickly review it? But it is complex because I'm writing a prompt which sets a prompt in my software, which works with their content to generate a new prompt, which is outputted, and then they take that prompt over to Lovable or some other building tool in order to build their software. You can see how it gets complex. Can it design UX, UI, or is it basic interface? Yep, it can. However, Lovable in particular has a very lovable look. You can tell a lovable site from a mile away. So what you can do is you can go to somewhere like Dribble. I always spell it wrong. It's got 3. You can go to somewhere like Dribble. You can find a design that you like the look of, or several designs. You might be like, oh, this one's cool. Oh, I love this. And you get inspiration, and I'd say find a few different sites that you like, or sites around the internet in general, and then you take them over to Claude or some other tool. You can say, hey, I like these kind of elements, I love what they're doing with this, and you have Claude write up a design brief for you, and then you can take that design brief over to your vibe coding tool like Lovable, and it will be able to follow that design brief, which is very similar to what we do when we work for Designer. Often there will be references, like reference sites. When you work with a website designer, one of the first things they'll say is, what sites do you like? Obviously, at a very high level, designers don't do that, but the majority of website design is basically, hey, which one do you like? And then they replicate something that's similar. At the top level, they tell you what's good for you, but that's a very small percentage. So it's updated the edge function. So this is the prompt it's sending. Ooh, it's chunky. So that's because it's quite big. That's going to cost me a lot of money to process. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. But that is something that could be refined later. The other thing about GPT-5 in particular is very cheap. It's extremely cheap. So like we'll live. Every time I send one of these prompts, it's costing me like a cent, less than a cent, maybe a couple of cents if it's something incredibly complex. But compared to the amount that you can charge your customers at the end, which would be $20, $30 a month, the 1 cent, the 2 cents for these generations is marginal. You can still work at a 90% profit margin. Okay, so we're going to do it again. Let's use this man. Oh, instantly. It's a 17-minute long video. I'm pretty sure I updated it, but let's go again. So YouTube, drop that in. So this process here is it pulling from YouTube, and that cost me, how much does that cost me? there's the video. That cost me 0.0000, so less than 3 decimal places. That didn't cost very much. And then it generates this. Okay, so that's 4,000 words. So this costs 10 credits. So I'm going to go ahead and create this lead magnet. Now this is using this big prompt that we just saw, plus the transcript, in order to generate a project specification, which can then be taken to the vibe coding tool. And this is taking a while because this is also quite a chunky prompt we're sending through. Let's look at usage. It's taking a while. Okay, there we go. Is your business ready for AI automation? What's that? What? Based on the best business. This project delivers an interactive, action-oriented quiz titled "Is your business ready for AI automation?" That's a bit weird because the title of the video is "The best AI businesses to start." Tailored for entrepreneurs evaluating their readiness to launch an AI-powered business in 2025. Okay, drawing from a listicle content form, the quiz guides users through a personalized assessment. All right, so. Okay, cool. So this is from AI automation agencies to AI content creation and micro SaaS. So numerous models that can be launched quickly. So this should, at the end, it's not great. So what this should do, or what I think it should do, is tell the user should they start an AI automation company, an AI content creation company, or a micro SaaS, because I think that's what the video is about. I haven't actually reviewed it. But instead it is asking about their readiness for AI automation. So how comfortable are you with learning new digital tools and platforms? Somewhat comfortable. I'm a power user, blah, blah, blah. How much time can you dedicate each week? And then it puts them into a bucket: foundation builder, momentum maker, the accelerator, the visionary. That's a bit generic. They all end up with the call to action, which is good, which is subscribe to the YouTube channel. So the customer puts in, or my customer puts in that call to action, not me. It's not going to tell all my customers leads to subscribe. Okay, it's better, but it's not great, because it seems like it's missed a very obvious one, which is literally the title is what's the best bit, or the best AI businesses to start in 2025. So why is it focusing on is your business ready for AI automation? So that's a bit crap. Okay, let's see what's doing. Content category, analyze the content. I think I know what's going on. Okay, I just ran that prompt, and the result. So the name of the video was the best AI businesses to start in 2025. However, the quiz you created for me was an assessment, which was, is your business ready for AI automation? And which is, it doesn't make any sense, because what we should have done, or what it should have done, was generate a suggestion of what business they should start, because that is literally the name of the video, the best businesses to start. So I think what might be happening is the examples you're giving might be poisoning the results. So can you make sure that the examples and the question types by content are very explicitly referred to as examples, and they're not to be used as is in your generation. So treat them like multi-shot examples rather than something that should be used in the final output. That seems to be the case with the result categories as well. You have things like the foundation builder in the prompt itself. and okay, yep, okay, I see what happens. And then the foundation builder is one of the results in the final output. So the examples that you're giving in the examples that you're giving in the prompt are making it into the output. They are explicitly to be used as examples for multi-shot. They must not be used in the actual output. Also, make sure that you are sending through the transcript of the no, you don't need to send through the transcript of the video. You've already processed that, but you need to make sure that the transcript of the video and the actionable points and the main points are included in the prompt that we're going to send to Lovable. Also, I noticed the technical specification has reduced to like 4 bullet points. We need a much more detailed step-by-step technical specification for the Lovable prompt. Thank you. You had much better ones 2 iterations ago if you're able to look at the logs. Oh, it's getting messy. Sebastian says, are there similar apps already in the market? No. Not that I've seen, but that's not a good thing. I prefer to enter a market where there are existing competitors, because that means there's a market for what it is I'm building. So no, that's a bit of a red flag that there aren't necessarily competitors. I would love to see tools like this that exist. I think this is quite niche. It's taking video content, so you have to be a video content producer, and then creating text-based lead magnets and quizzes from those videos. So it's relatively niche. You need to be a content creator, and you need to want to take people into the top of your funnel or the middle of your funnel. But no, I haven't seen anything similar. I did look, but no dice. If anyone does, I think it's best being the first mover without competitors. So I personally disagree with that, because I worry more about market risk, like nobody caring about this, than I do about competitive risk. Competitive risk we can work around. We just niche into something different. Whereas market risk, if nobody cares and nobody wants this, then we're dead. We're dead in the water. It's much harder to make a market than it is to carve out a space in it. However, we'll see. I've spent about 20 hours building this, so if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. I shall survive. Right, let's see if we can get this quiz going okay. I think first mover advantage is great if you have something that's genuinely defensible, something that you can have IP protection on. If you can get a patent on it, great. But for something like this, it can be replicated. So the only advantage really would be in distribution, being able to get out to market and potentially taking market share very fast, and then using the cash from that initial push, using that to reinvest and to solidify. That would be the play. Otherwise, there really aren't many barriers now that we can build stuff. Anyone can build stuff like this very, very, very quickly. I mean, it's taken me 20 hours, but that's not a long time for a product at all. Normally, people would spend months building this kind of thing. And we even saw, so I just covered it on my last live, the new agent kit from OpenAI, which they have launched yesterday. I can actually show you what it looks like. Agent Builder. So this agent builder, they built this in 6 weeks, and it's 80% coded by Codex, ChatGPT's own model. So even something of this scale, launched to millions and millions of people, was only made in 6 weeks. Like, things are just speeding up, really speeding up. Okay, emphasize that question result names must be original based on the actual transcript. Yes. Restored comprehensive technical specification section with all details, made it clear that foundation. Yep. Okay, let's have a go and see what that's like. Is there a way to implement my own AI chat agent into my app that's a free alternative from OpenAI? Yeah, so wait, you don't want to use OpenAI, or you do want to use. So OpenAI have ChatGPT, excuse me, OSS. So they have open source. So GPT OSS, which is an open source model. So you could deploy that on your own server and then connect your app to that. You could also use, I think, Quen. You could use DeepSeek. They have loads of open source. Let's pull the there we go. Open LLM leaderboards. Oh, where is it? Oh, it is there. Only official providers. There we go. So Quen is currently at the top of the leaderboards for the open source. It's Quen 2.5, followed by Mistral, Llama, Big Quen, Llama, etc. So you might want to check out something like Quen 2.5, 72 billion. So you can deploy this on your own server, and then you link up your application to this. Obviously there are other costs to doing that. You're going to be hiring a server, and you will be paying for the GPU costs and paying for the upkeep of it, instead of paying directly to API, directly to the ChatGPT API. The reason why you might want to use something like ChatGPT is it's very cheap. So you set up an API key in here, and then when it's used, you pay for each usage, and it doesn't cost very much. They've probably got the pricing here somewhere, but it's extremely cheap. So you could do it locally, but it's not necessarily going to be cheaper. It might be, but not necessarily. And also when you use an API like ChatGPT, you can always have access to the best model very easily. There are definitely advantages to open source, but it's not always going to be. It won't always be the best choice. Okay, let's generate again. Yeah, so you won't be paying for each prompt. You will be paying for your servers instead. If you want something totally free, gosh, I don't know if there is such a thing, but you would, well, you even if you run it on your own server at home, you're going to have to buy a GPU, and they are not cheap, especially ones that are able to run large language models. And then you're still going to be paying for electricity and internet connect, etc. We are increasingly getting edge models which can work on telephones, but you wouldn't run an application on a telephone necessarily. So free is tricky. There's cheap, but not necessarily free. If you do want a local model on your phone, not for your app, but just to play around with, there's something called locallyai.app. It's only on Apple phones, but it allows you to run AI models locally on your phone. It's got Quen, and what's it got? It's got Quen, DeepSeek, Small LM, which is Hugging Face's, Gemma, which is Google, and Llama. So you can play around with that. You can download the model onto your phone, and they don't cost. Each model is a couple of gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, 2, 3, and then it will run on your phone, and then you have a local version of ChatGPT, basically. No internet needed. So that's pretty cool. It's fun to play around with. So that's different to running your own app, but that gives you access to a local model on your telephone at least. Right. So is AI automation right for your business? That's still wrong. What's going on? Or maybe I need to watch this video. This happens sometimes when I'll be like, this is wrong, and then in fact the AI is correct and I just haven't watched the video. AI, oh wait, is it all about AI automation? No, it's about lead generation agencies. These are things that you can start. Oh, to be fair, it is from Instantly, which is an AI. What is Instantly? Oh no, it's not. Oh, Instantly is for lead generation. Okay. Content creation. Okay, no, so this is...
In this video, I'm going to be going over...
In this video, it's saying, here's some AI automation tools, presumably talking about Instantly. Then it's going through the different methods. So you could set up a lead generation agency, you could do content creation, you could do agent development. Okay, so it should, my quiz should represent that in some way. Scoring, no, still trash. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board with this. No, this is trash. Oh wait, no it isn't. Score, lead gen +2, content +2. Oh, okay, sorry. No, sorry, this is not trash. Okay, so it's doing weighted scoring. So it is helping us decide between microsas, content, lead gen, automation. Okay, this has done it. Great. So if you get a certain amount, if you get 12 to 16 points on automation, then it will say, hey, you should become, you're primed to launch an AI automation agency, focus on mastering workflow tools, blah, 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 blah. Awesome. We're good to go. And then the technical specifications are longer. Obviously, I need to test this on more videos to see if it generates. Well, let's do another one. But that has managed to nail it, thankfully. Gosh, let's say I am a cruise influencer, and I talk about cruises, and I want to. So I have this video. So my name is Tips for Travelers. I have this video with 500,000 views about the 10 best cruises in the world for your bucket list. What I would like is for my tool to generate basically what is a, hey, which of these 10 should you go on? So let's see if it does that. And then just as a live example, so under this video, let's say Tips for Traveler, he has 500,000 views on this video, which is crazy. His current call to actions are buy a t-shirt. Let's say you're 1.5 million people who's just watched this. Do you want a t-shirt? Maybe, but probably not. Or if you're from the US, you can get some money off here. Yeah, that's fine. If you're from the UK, you get some money off here. Yeah, that's fine. But these call to actions are quite weak. If you had instead a link which said, hey, which of these would best suit you? Like having trouble deciding, use this quiz to find out which of these cruises, these 10 cruises, is going to be the best for you. That's a pretty powerful lead magnet, and he'd get more emails from that than sending people off to buy t-shirts or whatever he's doing. So here we go. Which Mediterranean quiz? So that's not ideal, because it shouldn't just be Mediterranean, should it? Because these are, okay, well this one's in Alaska, that's not Mediterranean. This one is Norwegian, not Mediterranean. Baltics, closer, but not, no, actually not Baltics, that's Balkan. Panama Canal, definitely not Mediterranean. Polar, definitely not. Okay, so it has failed, but let's have a look and see what it does. Can I get a Sora code, please? Check. I've got about 4 or 5 videos about how to get a Sora code. I've used all mine up, I'm afraid. But go and check those videos, and they'll show you how to get one. Let's see what this quiz looks like, but I'm not very impressed by the first result. So the trick with this prompt is to get it to work for all quiz types. You know, I might need a processing step. Which Mediterranean cruise is right for you? So I mean, it's kind of cool if it was just about the Mediterranean, but this video is not just about the Mediterranean. So I think what we need is a kind of a pre-processing step. So it's tricky though, really tricky. Ideally, I'd have a step where you can actually fill in a bit of extra details about what you want your quiz to be like, and you could choose like the type of quiz, and it can adjust based on that, because then we can put a bit of the burden on the user instead of on the AI itself. So they'd be able to select between, should it be a, like what type of quiz should it be? Should it be multiple choice? Should it be a personality quiz? Should it be a help me to choose to do XYZ quiz? The problem with that is we currently have a page, I'll just do this again, where it gives us the quiz magnet idea. Okay, which cruise should be on your bucket list? So now this time it did it. That's really annoying. That's really annoying. Let's go ahead and do that. So this is the joy and the pain of artificial intelligence, is that you're not going to get the same answer every time, which is what makes it more creative and what makes it actually useful, is because of the stochastic, the more random nature. If it gave us the same answer every single time, it wouldn't be useful. It wouldn't be interesting at all. However, when you're trying to build with it, you need to rein in the creativity to make it valuable. So you need to kind of work out where that creativity sits. And at the moment, oh, this is much better. So drawing on 10 iconic cruises highlighted in content, including Caribbean, Mediterranean, Alaska, Norwegian fjords, Baltic, Panama Canal, Polar region, Galapagos, and French Polynesia. So it got them all. Awesome. It's like, which one should you go for? What type of scenery do you most want to immerse yourself in? Oh, that's weird. So it hasn't just decided Explorer. Nature's Trailblazers. So it's not literally saying go to Polynesia, go to Alaska. It's saying wild frontier, you should go to Antarctica, Arctic, or Galapagos. So it's kind of grouped them. I mean, that's also kind of fine. Cultural voyager, you should go for the Mediterranean, Baltics, or transatlantic. There's not many historic cities in the middle of the Atlantic, but okay. Nature's Trailblazer, Alaska, and Norwegian fjords, and the Panama Canal. Okay. And Explorer's Paradise is Caribbean, Mediterranean, or French Polynesia. Okay, it's not terrible, but it's not great. So what I'm talking about with the pre-processing step would be the ability to ask before generating, ask a few questions. I think come on, we've got a few minutes, let's add that. Okay, it's getting there, but the quiz prompt that is generated is sometimes misses the mark. So what I'd like to do is add a kind of a pre-step. So once they click on generate quiz from the ideas page, I want to take them to a second page where it asks for some more information to help them shape up the quiz. So specifically things like what's the call to action? What type of quiz would you like to generate? And then give them kind of cards or buttons they can click on to choose the type of quiz. And can you give me a few other suggestions for what we might add here, which you can feed into the system prompt that you then send on to ChatGPT? So we're going to put a bit of the burden on the user. They're going to click a couple of buttons to decide on that, what the quiz should look like, because it's quite hard for us to know what type of quiz is going to be ideal for the specific video, whereas they know what the quiz, they know what the video is because they made the video. Okay, so it should quiz type, which option is best for you, listicle comparison, readiness assessment. Okay, that's fine. Call to action, like what do you like us to do? So it needs a text input and it needs a link. Number of questions. Yes, that's good. So number of questions. The longer it is, the deeper you can get and more information, but it takes the user longer, so it's a bit annoying. Who is this quiz for? Useful. Result category, drop down. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. Tone and voice, professional. Okay, so it's given me quite a lot. And then email collection preferences, checkbox require email result before showing results, or toggle show partial results. Okay, it's kind of worked it all out for me. So I'm going to allow it to do that. And remember that the actual implementation of capturing emails, etc., is going to be done in Lovable. We're just giving them the prompt that they go and take over to Lovable. Okay, that's good. One thing for the CTA, they should be able to select and text and a link. Now, do we want to pre-populate everything? Yeah, I'm going to pre-populate. So I'm going to use AI to pre-populate everything. So if somebody just wants to click, 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 fine, they can do that. But otherwise, they have a little bit of control. So we're going to go ahead and create that. I have run out of time for today. But if this works, our quiz module is looking good. Okay, I'll create a configuration page with call to action text and links and smart pre-populated defaults based on the video content. Because it already knows the video, it can kind of make a best guess, and then they're going to adjust it. So this is kind of giving us the best of both worlds, because the AI can get us close, but the content creator, we're going to give them a little bit of power to nudge it in a direction that makes more sense. Because what we don't want to do is for the content creator to use their credits generating this and be like, that's rubbish. So we want the generation process to happen after they've had some input, because then it's kind of, they've co-created it, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I'll get people saying, oh, I wasted credits, it's not good, blah, 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 which is not worthwhile. And this will be the end of the stream after this. Oh, anyone who is in London next week on Thursday the 16th of October, I'm going to be talking at the AI for the Rest of Us conference. Specifically, I'm speaking, no, where am I? There we go, workshops, there we go, 11:30 on Thursday the 16th of October. It's a really good group of people over every single day, so I highly recommend looking at it. It's AI for the Rest of Us.live. So for anyone in London, tickets are £360 for the 2 days, which is not bad considering how many experts are there. So yeah, definitely come and check it out if you are around. I'd love to see some of you, and come and say hi and tell me where you know me from. Okay, it's still thinking, it's taking a while. And I'll do my wrap up while I'm here. All of the recordings of these live streams, plus the news show that I do, all appear on YouTube. There's a playlist that has all of the prior Building in Public streams. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be adjusting how we do the Building Public streams. I think I'm going to start doing mini projects instead of one large project. It's kind of a weird balance. So one large project allows me to take it to market and monetize, whereas doing lots of small projects allows me to learn more, allows me to show you more cool tools, allows me to do like a Sora 2 application, for example. So we can cover a lot more ground. It's kind of more interesting, but I can't necessarily build a product out of it, if that makes sense. So which one should we do? The best, and let's not do best cruises, let's do best bike rides. Where are the best bike rides? Best tours? Bike tours. Am I using the wrong word? Best bike. Best Europe. Oh no, that's an advert. Nearly. Explore France and bike. That's an advert. What is going? God damn it! I've become an old person. person who clicks on adverts like thinking it's real. YouTube tricked me. In my defense, it's because I've got lots of additional like analytics stuff. There's a whole load of nonsense on screen anyway. Right, so it's analyzing. So the video is the best top 10 best bike trips in Europe to do with your buddies. So which European bike trip is right for you and your friends? Cool. Click to create and it comes to here. Nice. So which option is best? So it's probably that, because that's literally the video. Readiness assessment, like so I want to change those EGs so the EGs are related to the video. What's your approach? Personality type size quiz. Get your personalized plan. It's not, it doesn't really make sense here, but that's fine. Number of questions 6, number of results category 4, target audience professionals. These also don't make sense for the video, but okay, that is better. That's definitely closer. So let's go ahead and generate that. Get your route map. I don't know, something like that. Number of questions. Well, we don't want to do 10. That seems like a lot. Target audience, British cyclers. Okay, let's see if that works, because it might not work. It might break everything. Do you work for Lovable? No, no, I don't, and nor am I affiliated. I went and visited their offices a few weeks ago, or a month ago, and it was great. So I know some of them. I've met Anton. I went for dinner with Anton, but no, I don't work with them. Hey Joshua, how you doing? Glitter, I'm not going to say your full name, but Glitter says, how much is Lovable? So it kind of depends. There's a free plan which gives you 5 credits every day. It's enough to kind of mess around with it and see if it's for you, but realistically you're going to have to pay. So the first paid plan is, I think, $25 a month. Oops, is this it? Yeah, I think it's $25 a month for 100 credits. Yep, $25 a month for 100 credits a month. And then depending on how many credits you use, it will be different amounts. And then what is useful to know, because quite rightfully you'd say, well, what on earth is a credit? You can actually click. So what I just did, all of that work that I just did, I can click here and see, okay, that cost me 3 credits. So let's see if that is now generated. It has. So which European bike trip is right for you and your friends, based on the top 10 bike trips in Europe to do with your buddies, blah, blah, blah. Here is the project prompt. Discover the ideal European cycling adventure with AI with Kyle. This is inserted because it's my business name inside of the app. For the other people, it would be something else. So you've got Peak District, Danube, Cycle Path, etc. Cool. And then it's how experienced are you and your friends? What's your group ideal daily cycle distance? What do you want to see, how long have you got, etc, etc. And then it has grouped them. So really high points, then it puts you in the Epic Challenger, so cycle over the French Alps or the Danube cycle path. Or very low, it would be something like the Peak District. I was about to say the Peak District's pretty hilly, but the French Alps are famously slightly more hilly than the Peak District. So cool, that basically works. And then it has the technical specifications. And then out the back of it, it will generate, well, this is the prompt that they'll take over to Lovable or to any other vibe coding tool. But if they click on this button, it will automatically drag it and pull it into Lovable inside of that UTM up here. Cool. I'm happy with that. I need to do a few tweaks, but that is much better already. Awesome. Oh, we've got creating Lovable up here. Yep, that also works. Jolly good. Right, the quiz is basically working. So we've got the checklist working, we've got the quiz working very well. The last one I'm going to do is the PDF guide, which last time I checked was already pretty solid. So the main things we need to do are tidy up the login page, reactivate the walkthrough tutorial. I think that's kind of it. And then open the door for beta testers and watch it explode and go horribly wrong, and then fix what goes wrong, because that's what we do. So initially it will be free for the beta testers. If you do want to be a beta tester, then make sure you signed up to the newsletter, because I'm going to be giving away beta codes on Saturday, in the Saturday issue. Awesome. We went a little bit over today, but I think we're in a good place because we've created this cool quiz adjusting tool, so they can co-create with AI, which generally is the best way to do it. Awesome. Thank you guys. I'm going to be heading off. As always, the recordings of this and all of the other lives and all of my content is available on YouTube. I'm grinding my way slowly to, I think, 7,000 followers. And I'd love if you could come and help. 6,762 with 3,000 in the last 28 days. So it's speeding up, but good God, YouTube is a grind. TikTok's much easier. Thank you guys, and have a lovely day.